Dawn of Ragnarok is a large expansion to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, enhanced by the way that it has been integrated into other aspects of the Valhalla experience. The DLC is nestled within Valhalla's exploration of Norse mythology and sees the main protagonist Eivor transform into the High One himself, Odin. Unlike the previous two DLC expansions, The Wrath of the Druids and The Siege of Paris, Dawn of Ragnarok is best played after you have completed the main storyline within Valhalla. Although you can play Ragnarok at the power level of 340, this reviewer was already at the power level of 420, and that undoubtedly made combat an easier proposition. Ubisoft have claimed that Dawn of Ragnarok is the most ambitious expansion they have ever created, and when comparing it to Assassin's Creed Odyssey's Fate of Atlantis, which is reviewed on this channel, this reviewer concedes that it pulls ahead of Fate of Atlantis in a few select areas. It certainly has a better constructed cinematic main story, and it contains far more to do within the new environment of Svartalfheim. However, in terms of variation of environments and sheer aesthetic consideration, Fate of Atlantis is better, at least from the perspective of this player. This, though, isn't stated as a detraction from the wonderful level design work that has gone into the new area. The events of Ragnarok take place in a new large open world map, the realm of Svartalfheim, home to dwarves and the legendary dwarven smiths who crafted, amongst other things, Thor's legendary hammer, Mjolnir. One of the great aspects of Valhalla is acquiring weapons such as Mjolnir and Excalibur. In fact, this player had both equipped throughout his escapades in the new land. What is aesthetically pleasing about the designer's vision of Svartalfheim is the way they ground the realm in realistic scenery, familiar to both the environments of England and Norway, but with some well thought out mythological ideas integrated within it. Mountains of gold, alien looking magical plants, and areas that are specifically related to tales are just some of the features that you will discover on your travels through the varied and beautiful landscapes. As was stated above, the higher your power level when starting the expansion, the easier time you will have in defeating the enemies that have invaded from Helheim. There are a range of different types of enemies here with some potent attacks and skills. Luckily, there are plenty of opportunities within Ragnarok to gain some powerful new skills to help you along your way. The foremost of these is the Hugurip, a bracelet gifted to Yavi, one of Odin's names, by the dwarves. The Hugurip introduces some new abilities that afford the player ways to overcome some of the many puzzles and obstacles that they will discover on their travels. The Hugurip can be upgraded by acquiring silica from the numerous raid locations within Svartalfheim. Aside from the Hugurip, there are also 4 new abilities to uncover by finding the relevant books of knowledge. You will also gain an awful lot of power points here. This player maxed out his power level and managed to level up the mastery attributes to 10 on each. You will also have the opportunity to upgrade your equipment and weapons to divine armor status using platinum ingots that you can gain from chests. You may have already encountered divine armor pieces denoted by a green background from Raider's shop in Ravensthorpe. Oh, and by the way, there are lots of opals scattered around the landscape in Svartalfheim. For those of you who have watched the Valhalla review on this channel, you may remember that this player complained about the inability to negate fall damage, which is an ability you gain in Odyssey. The very good news is that once you have fully equipped yourself with divine armor, you gain that ability, although annoyingly only in Svartalfheim. As for this player's other gripe, stamina, this is far less of an issue due to the high power levels, and there is a new type of rune that allows you to use some of your Hugurip power to replenish stamina when you run out, which helps a lot. There is an entertaining and strong story here. What is really fun is to hear Cecile Stenspiel and Magnus Brunn Ava's voice actors now take on Odin. Odin is so boastful and assured of himself that there are often comical moments in his interactions with others, especially with the dwarves.
Come, fearsome creature of the depths! No more shall you torment those who visit these waters. Face your end at the hands of the High One.
This lighter tone is offset though by Odin's relentless and desperate drive to find his son Balder. The epilogue to the story marks a shift in Ava's own view of both themselves and their place in the world. Stephanie Economou delivers a stunning new soundtrack that fuses traditional Norse instruments and melodies with synth and percussion that results in a strikingly original landscape of mystical and ethereal ideas. Dawn of Ragnarok is a rewarding and entertaining escapade within the Assassin's Creed Valhalla experience.